Hello, everyone. So, I was listening to something earlier, and specifically, Alan Watts had came on, and he was given a lecture. And in this lecture, he was given a talk about, and he said something that was a bit of a key factor for me, and that was, how do you know what is good for other people, and how do you know what's good for you? And this is something it's personal to me, right? Because putting myself out there, wanting to motivate individuals, wanting to help coach people's lives for the betterment, wanting to really put out there a aspect of progression to help them grow as individuals and with families. I don't have an academic background for that. I did not go to school for that. I actually failed psychology back in high school because I wasn't able to focus with school. And so, one of the obstacles that I have to overcome is when it comes to establishing my credibility, when it comes to putting myself out there just in general. I have to convince everyone that I'm very serious about this and that I actually know what I'm talking about. Yes, I am a living example of what it is like when you change your life for the better. Sure, absolutely, and I do my best to tend to my relationships, and those are living examples as well. But when we're talking about credibility, and we're talking about experience as far as job history or academics, it's not there because obviously I'm not a therapist, nor am I trying to be one. My goal is to help you reach your best self by putting out there my experiences, by putting out there my perspectives and my ideas. And they're not mine alone, right? This is just things that have worked for me that I want to put out there for you because it's what you deserve. And it's what we as humans deserve a chance at. We deserve at a chance of having information brought to us to help us progress within life, to help us progress within work. We, as humans, of course, deserve the chance of being beneficial to society and being beneficial to the earth. When my time is up and I pass away, what am I going to leave behind? Am I going to leave behind just a pattern of mistakes that I never learned from and, never did anything to change them? And then in return, because of that, I have created problems for other people that they have to live with throughout their lives? Or am I going to learn from my mistakes, do something about them, figure out how to reach my goals, and then my experience from that, share that with everyone else so that they can see their goals are obtainable? How is it going to be for me? How is it going to be for you? And so when it comes to how do I know what's good for other people and how do I know what's good for myself? Well, from my experiences growing up, having the very troubled, dysfunctional childhood that I was brought up in, I had very real life examples of what does not work because of the way of life that I was exposed to of other people. The lack of seriousness and the lack of effort into striving for a happy, successful life versus the alternative when it was just the effort for them was involved in the drama and the drugs and the alcohol and the dysfunction and everything. And so growing up, I was able to make that internal observation of, okay, well, there are other people having better lives than I was having, and they are doing things completely different. Could I have that life versus what I'm unfortunately born into? And I made the decision very early on. Yes, I just did not know what that meant. I did not know how to get there, and in a lot of ways I still don't, and in a lot of ways I'm still working on that, right? Because for example, putting myself out there, Isabella Teach Speaks, and putting out there all these videos and everything, and trying to be as open and honest with all of you that I can. Part of my process is figuring out how to do all of this because I know that I don't have it figured out. I know that I have a long way to go when it comes to this, and it's going to be that process of, even though you don't know and you don't have all the answers, take the risk, fail forward, and that's absolutely okay. Part of why I stand out in some of my situations is, aside from just some random bullshit that I do and that I put out there, I love being an individual to think outside the box and, try something that is uncommon if I think that it's going to work. I don't just do something uncommon just to be uncommon or, to be an outsider from the group, to stand out. I have a purpose for that. And in doing that and in having those intentions has actually helped my career. It has helped my relationships. And, for an example, when it comes to my personal relationship, there are so many goofy things that my partner and I do together, and it's so funny. Last night, just out of the blue, we were laying there as we do each night, and we talk, and we're on our phones and stuff, and we really get to bond in that way. And just out of nowhere, I just reached over and shut their phone off. I didn't care that they were on it or anything like that, but it was just something random. It was something funny and completely unexpected. And then they had went up and went to the bathroom, and when they had come back, they went to go show me something on their phone, and they couldn't, because while they were gone, I had shut their phone off again. and it was just funny. And at work and everything, depending on what situation, whether I'm here at my full-time job, maybe I'm out driving for Uber or Lyft, maybe I'm having conversations with individuals, trying to network a little bit, whatever the situation is, my communication style at times will be based on the person. There is not one way I'm going to talk that's going to work for everyone, and I'm okay with that. I love that, because it allows me to be a bit diverse in my communication style. So, putting myself out there is risky. Wanting to do this is risky, and I know that in some ways I'm failing, but I'm failing forward and I'm learning from it. So how do I know what's good for myself and good for other people? Well, like I said, I have my experiences, and it's because of my experiences and what I can tell people to go out and try if they ask me, and what does work for them versus what does not. There's just the results. And that's the one thing, is that no two people are going to be able to try the same thing and that it works for them. Sometimes it's situational, but we're not going to nitpick. We're not going to get into the specifics, right? So just something that I wanted to share with you all, because like I said, that is something that is personal to me. I have a lot of fantastic, successful people that I'm fortunate enough to have in my life and to call them friends. And from a kid who came out of the childhood that I did, and then into my adult life, having the mistakes that I was having and making, to try to change everything, when I started to really put my feet forward about my life, there's a lot of ownership and accountability that goes there, and there is a lot of honesty there. And the only way that I can do this is by being honest, and that's the first step out of respecting all of you, and into respecting myself. Because if I can't be honest with myself, and I cannot be honest with all of you, then, what is the point of this, right? So I just wanted to put all of that out there, because I've touched base on that a little bit, and while I have the time, while I'm doing this drive and everything, it is just something that you all deserve, to be reminded of, is that your goals, whatever they may be, even if you come from nothing, even if you don't have the academics, even if you don't have the professional experience, all right, well, no one, when they were born, had that out of the womb, right? So there's ways of achieving it, and there are ways of achieving your goals. So don't give up on that. Find out what works for you. Put yourself out there, fail forward, learn from it, and definitely kick some ass. It's what I'm doing. So I definitely know that you can do it. All right. Have a great day. Bye.